very unstable right now, not just in the United States, but in the world in general. Okay? South America is in crisis. Parts of Europe are still in crisis. Now Canada, who was really doing well for the better part of last year and into this year, are in crisis. We have states inside the United States that are not doing well, that are in crisis. So, unfortunately for us, COVID has not gone away. COVID is there, kind of waiting in the wings to swoop back in as soon as we let our guard down. So we are not 100% protected just because we've had a vaccination. We all know that, right? Because some of these variants are stronger than the vaccinations we've received. CDC and WHO, HOW, World Health Organization, they're just not quite sure how strong these variants are against Pfizer, which all of us got, and Moderna. We've seen Johnson & Johnson be put on the shelf for a while because there's some issues with Johnson & Johnson. So what happens is we're not vaccinating to the level that we could be in the United States, which continues to hold us back and hold us back. So, yes?
Yes, I understand that there's going to be the possibility of a booster shot with Pfizer.
Absolutely.
Will you be keeping your eye on that?
We have been watching that. We don't have dates yet. What they're doing,
Donna, could you turn off the music?
It's not the music, it's his phone.
No, it
This
isn't.
is music off the left, and it has to be in the stand here.
it's the cell phone.
No, there's music too. It's.
It's off.
Oh,
no, it's not.
It's not that one, it might be that one.
Yeah.
It's not that one?
Check the one in the dining room. Yeah, that's it. It's up high now. The other way. There you go. Thank you. Thanks, Bruce. So, to answer Yvonne's question about the booster shots, yeah, we're reading all over the place right now that Pfizer's developing a booster for two reasons. One, they're not sure about the variants and they want to get some extra vaccinations into the population. Two, they're not sure how long the Pfizer vaccine is even going to be strong enough to hold back a regular COVID virus. Okay, so they want to give us that booster as a safety precaution, a safety shot, if you will. So what I've read is sometime in late summer, early fall, those booster shots are going to be coming out. And keep in mind, that's right about the time that we are going to be getting regular flu shots. So we're going to be getting a COVID vaccine again, most likely, and then we're going to be getting our vaccine for regular flu sometime in late September, early October, right? So that's kind of what we're thinking now. Yes, Bruce?
You're talking a lot about vaccines, but I'd like to hear you comment about, at Cypress Court, what's the ratio? You've got people, residents that did not get the vaccine as well as staff.
Yeah,
And there's been questions raised about that.
thank you for the
We're
question.
talking about an additional shot. What's going on with those people?
Thank you. I appreciate that question. So Bruce's question is, so we're in a situation where not every resident got a flu vaccine when the virus shots were here at our 3 clinics, and not every staff member did. So that's even more of an important reason for us to not let our guard down, okay? First and foremost, people have the right to say no, okay? They have the right, okay? That's a God-given right to be able to say, no, I'm not comfortable getting the vaccine, or I don't want the vaccine. We know, and we've read about in the papers, that vaccine hesitancy is huge in our country right now, particularly for people of color, okay? So we know that some residents, family members, just have strong opinions about it too. And that affects the decision sometimes that our residents make. That's okay. They have that right, okay? We cannot tell a resident who opted out and did not get the vaccine that they can't participate because they didn't have the vaccine. That's like illegal. We can't do that. So we just deal with it. The good news is that 97% of our residents did in fact get the vaccine. That's the important number to know. That number right there. Our associates, in the very beginning when we had our clinics, we were at about 50%, 52% opted in. Since then, we're almost at 65%. So that vaccine hesitancy is starting to fall away. And some of our associates actually went and got their vaccines in other places, like Kaiser. Okay? So we're doing better, but that's still, to Bruce's point, another reason why we can't let our guards down when we're inside the community with masks. We certainly should not be letting our guards down when we are out and about and not wearing a mask. It is the most important thing you can do. It's proven science that 2 people wearing a mask will block out 80% of the virus. One person wearing a mask and the other person isn't, it goes down to something like 40%. Okay, and then basically 2 people without a mask on, you're at a very low percentage, very high percentage of getting it.
I have another question going back to vaccinations. I wonder now if that is part of the HR policy in hiring, that the newcomers are asked to have the card plus 10 days.
So we are requiring our new hires to vaccinate.
Good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So we can do that with new hires. We cannot do that with existing staff. Now, the reason why, and Dr. Fauci has talked about this several times, and I've seen it talked about, and we've even talked about it in the state of California. We currently have what is referred to as an emergency use authorization for that COVID vaccine. All 3 of those vaccines are EUAs, okay? That means that they have not had the final stamp of approval on the FDA. You cannot mandate as an employer that an associate get an EUA. You just can't. Okay, it's considered experimental and you can't make them do it. However, when the FDA does finally put that stamp of approval on these vaccines, then you're going to see companies circling back and revising their HR policies for getting vaccinated, okay? And it very well, I know that Andy had talked about it before the transition. Andy had talked about making it mandatory, okay, once it was FDA approved. So time will tell, we'll get there. We're also having any new resident who moves in must be vaccinated, double vaccinations. Okay, they have to be fully vaccinated before they move in. So that's how we're protecting everyone moving forward. But you're still out and about. You're still going to places and doing things and with family, and you still don't know where they might have been or who they might have been with that could potentially have affected them, and they don't even know it. Okay? So we're not out of the woods yet. This thing is very cyclical. It gets good for a while, and then we spike back up. So that is why we're continuing the weekly testing for both residents and associates. That's our safety net. Because if something starts to fall through the cracks, we're going to catch it pretty quick. We're going to catch it. We're going to know we have a problem. Okay? So does that sound good? So please, please, please do not let your guard down. Keep those masks on. When you're out and about, keep using that hand sanitizer. Don't get relaxed about it. Keep it in your purse. Look for every business you walk into has a sanitation station still. So make sure you're using it. All right? Thank you for that. Appreciate the questions. Great questions. So I want to thank maintenance for those of you who drive a vehicle. They, I think, did a really nice job down in the garage restriping and power washing the parking garage downstairs. So did y'all notice that?
Yes,
Look better?
looks better.
Good, thank you. We did the carpets in all of our common areas and the stairs. Did you all notice that on, I think it was Thursday of last week? It looked really good. So the gentleman actually who owns the company came in just a little while ago to double check and make sure his team had done a good job, and I think they did a great job. The Willow Garden is now open. So I know there was some confusion in the last couple of weeks, and I think maintenance now has, they know they have to open. That's a whole year of having that gate locked. So now they're in the habit of unlocking it when they come in to work, and then they'll lock it back before they leave at night. Okay? I heard that the elevators were down yesterday for a little while. That was a pain in the tush, I can only imagine. We had 2 elevators down.
Oh, wow.
The service elevator and one of our passenger elevators, the front one, I believe. So the front elevator got fixed pretty quickly, but the service elevator is having a problem. So if you notice that deliveries are coming through the main elevator, that's why it looks like there might be a motherboard problem. So with the computer electronics inside the elevator. We are also working on the, Max and I have wanting to execute a project in the laundry rooms. So starting probably the week of the 25th, you're going to notice that some of the laundry rooms are going to be painted. So we're doing a refresh project in all the laundry rooms. So just FYI, we're hoping that there really won't be much in the way of displacement and for you all to do your laundry, for those of you who are doing it in those areas. We're gonna utilize Philly. And Philly usually comes in about 2:30 and works until 6. So we're thinking that window probably won't be too busy of a window for most folks doing their laundry. Okay? So be looking for some changes in the laundry rooms coming your way. Yes, Bruce?
3 North is a continuing problem. After the laundry, you put the laundry in the washer, it's either not balanced right or the floor is just covered with water. And we've been having to go in and mop it so that people don't slip. I told maintenance about it, but it's still there.
Do you know which washing machine it is, Bruce?
The first one.
Well, we think it's the first, there's two,
The first one?
yeah, as you go in, but
And it's leaking, so when it's going through its rinse cycle,
yeah,
the hose in the back is overflowing and putting water on.
probably, that's what I think.
Okay,
But it's hard to tell where it's coming from. But there's a lot of water that's collecting on the floor that could cause slippage.
a slip and fall, absolutely, safety issue. Okay, thank you for that. Yes, Millie?
The process of signing up is working out fine.
Oh, good. Thank you for that. So Millie said that the process of signing up for your times in the laundry room is working out well.
Absolutely,
Yes.
yes.
Yay! We love it when a plan comes together, right? That makes it easier and simpler for everybody. So thank you for the feedback. Much appreciated. Bruce?
However, I agree with Millie, it works well, but when the machine doesn't function correctly, and you have to take all your laundry out and then put it in the other one, you're cutting into the person's time that comes after you because you haven't got enough time.
Well, fortunately, we have several laundry rooms, and it sounds like there's one laundry room that seems to be a culprit. So I'm gonna have Max and the maintenance team go up there and figure this out once and for all, because 3 North has been an issue. So we'll have to figure out what the heck is going on. If we need to bring a plumber in, we'll bring a plumber in,
Thank you.
okay?
I think one of the maintainers that came today, because there was complaint, you might talk to him about it.
Okay, I will. There was a problem just today with their 3rd floor north?
Yeah.
Okay,
The
So-
machine wouldn't even go on.
okay. All right, I'll talk to Jose.
Yeah, Jose.
Okay. So, I wanted to also call out John Hanson, and Bruce. The other day, about 3 weeks ago, you all asked if I would consider ordering a large print Reader's Digest for the library. And the first copy is now in there. Okay? So it came in a couple of days ago and I put it in there. You're welcome.
Where is it?
It's on the little coffee table. If it hasn't been absconded with yet, I put it on your little table in there.
Can we put the magazines on the table, or they go in the rack?
They
Because
can-
obviously, if you get the new Reader's Digest, we put it up in the rack, people aren't gonna see it.
Right, and that's why I put it on the coffee table, because I wanted everybody to see that it was there in large, and it's a large print, which is really nice. So I don't know if it's still in there, to be honest with you.
And what happened to the newspaper?
Yeah.
We never get that. That used to, a copy used to come up, and it used to go on the table there for everyone to read.
Donna, I'll take care of that.
San Diego Union.
Stopped it during COVID, but.
Okay, yeah, we had stopped that during COVID. Tammy's gonna start it back up for us, okay?
Can we take magazines to the library again? Can we donate magazines?
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable with that. Tammy, what do you think? Having magazines be donated to the library by residents? Yeah, we're good with that. We're good with that. There's very little chance of cross-contamination with those magazines. Very, very little now. Okay. What other questions or concerns? Aosha?
I hate to always be talking about birds, but I know it's an issue, and I understand that the bird feeders are going to be moved to the other garden.
Most likely, yes. The reason that we're gonna move, so Aosha's question is about the birds and the bird feeders in the courtyard. So we made a decision a few weeks ago to have a little bird committee and have that committee be responsible for putting the feed in the feeders, and we got a cleaning and a washing station. We did all kinds of good things out there to make that happen. And it's always sometimes a case of it's a great idea, but once you put it into practice, you see what the pitfalls are, right? Okay? And the pitfalls are that it's dangerous to be filling those bird feeders out there.
That's right.
Okay? Because it's hilly. And where we keep the bird feeders is so they can be off the sidewalk for a couple of reasons. Mess and slip. Because, you know, you don't want to slip on those seeds as the birds are eating the seed and spitting them out. So we talked about the possibility of putting 3 feeders out on the willow garden. That's nice and flat, easy to access, and seeing if it works out there, okay? So that's probably gonna happen, I would imagine this week sometime.
And who is going to feed the birds, and who, I've ordered bird seed and nothing comes, and
Okay, now that we are going to try this, I will go and I will buy the seed.
oh,
Okay, but it is still going to be the responsibility of the bird committee to put feed in the feeders and to clean the feeders when needed.
Are you going to get new feeders?
I'll look at getting new feeders.
Well, these are very difficult.
Yeah, very difficult.
Okay, so I will do that. I will look and see what we can do in finding a feeder that is simpler to use, not as difficult to, because I know that's hard, right?
And the bird, the thing is full of birds.
And I think we probably need to just maybe get some smaller ones.
Well, it's
I think so.
heavy.
Just
Yeah,
fill them.
because they're heavy, right?
Yes,
So
fill
let's plan for that, because I know that nothing is more fun to watch than the birds flying around and eating out of the feeders. But remember, they're not gonna be in the courtyard now, they're gonna be out in the willow garden. I did send an email to Maxine this afternoon to have one of the landscapers go out there and give that willow garden the attention it deserves.
Good.
I went out there last Thursday, Friday, and saw that it's in pretty sad shape. It's not had a lot of love and attention for the last year, for obvious reasons. So we're gonna have them go out there and do some trimming. I saw a couple of dead bushes out there. We'll get rid of those, and we'll start sprucing that up, and it'll be a fun place to go out there and watch the birds. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw another hand. Yes, Nita?
You're going to eliminate all those in the courtyard?
Yes.
That's a shame, because we enjoy watching those birds all the time.
Yeah, they're gonna come anyway, because right now is flowering season. You have the roses out there, you have all different kinds of flowers blooming out there. So they're gonna come anyway, with or without the feed. But we don't have the staffing to be setting labor aside to go out there and do those feeders. We just don't have it. Where they're located now is not good for the folks that said that they would take that on, our residents. It's dangerous for them. So we've got to come up with a different solution. We're going to try the willow garden. Okay? Yes, Jim?
The basket.
So June's saying, if you haven't donated to the basket, donate.
What,
3 people donate the basket. 3 people, $20.
That's wonderful. So some of the residents, it sounds like, June, are opting to donate dollars as opposed to actually the canned goods and whatnot.
Yes.
So that's wonderful too. You are welcome to do that if you want. Who are they supposed to be giving the money to? To June, okay? So June makes sure that Interfaith gets that money, all right?
Yeah.
And then they use it to buy food for people. Interfaith And the reason I love Interfaith so much is because they really do a deep dive with people who are food insecure. So it's our veterans, our homeless, our families with young children. Schools still aren't in session for a great number of our children, or only in session hybrid, like a couple of days a week. Many of the children's families relied upon lunchtime at school for one of the meals, because some of these families, they only get 2 meals a day. And lunch was one of them at school. So, as you can well imagine, Interfaith is very busy right now. Their pantry is very busy. So anything we can do to contribute is going to be important. I'm going to also put a Dayforce message out for our staff so that they can contribute as well. Okay? Thank you.
Basket. Right there.
And the basket's right there. And I would love nothing better than to have so many people donating that we have to go to a different kind of container.
Yes.
Okay? So let's see what we can do about overflowing this one, so we can get a bigger container and have Sam and June go over and donate to Interfaith with on a regular basis would be great. Okay. Any other questions or concerns? So we'll have the newspaper come. Yes, Bruce.
We're still, this is like a comment I got from several residents, we're still experiencing shortages of staple items in the dining room. Last night it was 3 different kinds of ice cream. Another night it's pink wine. Staple, things that should be on the menu all the time.
Okay, so I can't speak to that specific. I will talk to Mark about it and find out what the challenge is. In the past, it has been lack of availability. So I don't want to make that assumption this time. I want to ask him, but sometimes it's just not available. Sometimes Mark is not notified when something is running low. And I know that he's talked with the staff about that too. So I'll circle back and see what it is. Maybe it's a combination of those two. Thank you for that. So I'll talk to Mark about running out of supplies. I will, Tammy's already on getting the newspaper delivered for the library. We've talked about the birds, and we'll get the bird feeders ordered and moved over to the Willow Garden. And then we have the 3rd floor north washing machine leakage issue that we need to get down to the bottom of. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? Charlie?
I had occasion a couple of days to speak with one of the new residents. He's been here a week, 10 days, something like that.
Okay.
He was quite upset with the residents not wearing their name tags. He says, I sit with people and I feel very uncomfortable. So I'm just thinking that maybe management should put on a campaign to get us to all wear name tags. We need to know the new people, and the new people need to know us.
Yeah. How many of us right now are wearing our name badges? That's awesome. So for those of you who have misplaced your name badges, don't wear them very often, why don't you dig them out of that top dresser drawer of yours, pull them out and put them on? Because I really do think that it is neat when a new resident, and trust me, we're going to be having a lot of new residents moving in this year. And it is important to them. We don't think it means that much, but think about when you first moved in and how it helped when you sat with somebody and they had their badge on it. Just made you feel good. And they're wearing theirs, then that just starts a conversation. You know, hi Mabel, how are you doing? Because I see your name badge, right? Just makes it easier for people. So thank you for that, Charlie. I think that's a good reminder for everybody. And we're always reminding our staff to make sure they're working for that. And I'll remind the staff. We've got a lot of new faces in the dining room. And it's really important for you to know them too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Might put a reminder on the 1960 too. I think we've gotten out of the habit of it with the shutdown. We just kind of know each other, but when the new people coming in, they feel ill at ease.
Yeah, thank you for that, Charlie. And the ambassadors play a huge role in that. So for you all that are the ambassadors, thank you for what you're doing in helping our new residents feel comfortable here. We just had an ambassador luncheon thanks to Leah. So it's basically a newcomers luncheon that we're going to start doing every month with the new faces, paired with the ambassador that was assigned to them during their first month here, their first few days here, depending upon how long they've been here. And I think that went really, really well last week. So kudos to you, Talia. That was awesome. All right. Anything else? Going once, going twice. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful week. And I'll be here for a few minutes, so if you have any one-on-one questions for me. Thank you.